And welcome back to our live coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference. I'm Christy McDonald. We're so glad that you are joining us for day 2 of the conference right here on Mackinac Island. We're in the parlor of the Grand Hotel, and we have a lot more coming up for you this afternoon, so we hope to stay put until about 5:15, and then we'll be broadcasting again tomorrow morning, starting bright and early at 9 a.m. We also want to remind you that we are on social media, and you can use the hashtag MPC16 to get in on the conversation. Tell us what you like. Tell us some of the speakers that you've seen or some of the concepts that they're talking about. If you're interested in, we'd love to hear your feedback, and if there's something that you don't like, we'll take that too. We'd love for you to be part of this discussion, because really when you have business leaders, you have politicians here, you have philanthropists, you have educators all in one place, and these are all people that can help shape the future of the state of Michigan. So it's important to get in on those conversations, and that is why Detroit Public TV for the 6th year is bringing you the conference live, so you can follow along even if you are not on the island. Well, one big topic of conversation is regional transit, and it is something that Southeast Michigan has struggled to have a cohesive plan for a very, very long time. Just this week, they unveiled a plan, and it will be something the voters will have to decide on in the fall. So joining me now to talk about it is Laura Trudeau from the Kresge Foundation. It's good to see you, Laura.
Good to see you, Christy.
And Michael Ford from the RTA. Michael, it's good to see you. This has been a big week, so I want to start off, and Michael, let me start with you. Go ahead and lay out, finally, after months of preparation and talking to a lot of people and getting people's ideas of what they'd like to see in terms of transit in Metro Detroit, you finally came together with a big plan. Go ahead and give us some steps on it.
Yeah, it's really about connecting the region in the 4 counties, Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, Washtenaw, and it's about regional mobility. Right now we're a disconnected service in terms of mobility, and I remember being here a year ago talking to you about that.
Yep.
And I think we have a very robust plan that starts to connect the region together. It's full of bus rapid transit components. It's got cross-county routes. Rails is part of that. More service for elderly and disabled folks, more express type services, airport services. So it really begins to galvanize the 4 counties and connect them to give the freedom and flexibility that's needed, really getting people to jobs and educational institutions and many other places they want to go.
And this is a millage where you start to take the funding and roll out things within about a 5-year period, is it about?
Yes, the majority will be done in about 5 years. There are a few bus rapid transit lines that will take a little bit longer, but the majority of the plan will be completed in about 5 years.
So Laura, tell me what is in this plan that you believe will finally be successful where we have faltered so many times in the past in Southeast Michigan?
Well, I believe this is just a very complete plan. It really serves all 4 counties. We have the RTA in place now, which we have not had in the past, to coordinate service among the 4 counties and to bring new resources to allow us to access federal funds, which has not really been possible in a major way in the past. I think serving people who don't have transit options, as well as serving people who have cars and just would prefer to use transit at times, I think it offers us a chance to really demonstrate that we can work together as a region and that we are very forward-looking and trying to create options for all of our people.
Historically, it's been interesting why Detroit has never ended up with a mass transit like other large cities that we look at right now. What are we patterning ourselves after when we look around the country? We'll never be a San Francisco, we'll never be a New York or Washington, D.C., but who are we trying to be a little bit like when it comes to transit?
I think we're trying to take the best from a lot of different communities. An example is bus rapid transit, which Michael referenced. That really is becoming kind of the mode of choice for communities around the country because it's cost effective and it's flexible. So picking that up from some of the cities that about 50 communities in the country right now are using bus rapid transit as a method of transportation. Having the RTA work cooperatively with SMART and DDOT is a model that comes to us from San Francisco, where there are actually 27 different agencies providing transit services under the umbrella of BART. So taking different lessons learned, we're in a position now in a way, because we're coming to this a little later than some others, of being able to learn from what other communities have done and really develop a plan that is uniquely right for our region.
Now you have, I would think it would be a bit of a tough job, Michael, in terms of selling this to a community who, number one, might say, well, we have SMART, right? And doesn't that go everywhere? That may not understand that communities can opt out of that system. But number two, say, I might never use this, and you're going to ask me to pay for something, and to pay, what, a $200,000 home, $120 a year? Ask me to pay for something that I may not even use. How do you sell greater good to an area?
Again, as was mentioned, we are integrating with Smart, DDOT, AATA. So we're integrating services, we're connecting people. And I think the message is that it has an economic return. It helps people get to jobs, but 92% of folks can't get to jobs within an hour because public transit doesn't work that way. So having flexibility, being able to address elderly and disabled services for people needing mobility. Millennials coming here want to be able to have the ability to get where they want. They don't want necessarily a car or the insurance. I think those are selling points. Giving people freedom and mobility, even if you don't use it, you still benefit because the economic return is large in this process. And getting you where you want to go, and sometimes you may just not want to drive and you want to be able to have the freedom of a good system that gets you where you want to go. So I think there's a lot of things that we can make clear to people in the counties and show the economic impact, as Laura was talking about. You look at other cities that are doing well, they thrive because they have good transportation systems, and that's where we need to get to.
Do you think that in terms of starting to roll out, I mean, how do you start to craft that message? Saying you obviously have a lot of support from business leaders up here on Mackinac, and people are really talking about this and behind it from a lot of different areas. But when you start to roll this out, do you think it will be an intense campaign this summer to get people to understand more about it?
I think there's been an effort already to try to have people understand the problem that our region has by not having transit. What's been the impact on people with disabilities who can't get where they need to go? What has been the impact on businesses who really can't fill open positions in their companies because people don't have transit? So we've had a series of ads running that have talked about this from the perspective of people, of individuals, kind of a testimonial style set of ads. The next phase is really probably to continue that work to help the whole population of our region understand what the problem is, and then start to shape up how this plan is uniquely constructed and designed to address the problems that are unique to our region.
Well, I know that we're going to be talking about this as the summer continues and into the fall. Laura Trudeau from the Kresge Foundation and Michael Ford from the RTA, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Christy.